Hey there, you're watching Dansky, the place to be to develop your creative skills and apparently review laptops. Recently, I did an unboxing of the new 2018 Razer Blade 15. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on this new 2018 gaming laptop. Rightio, first let's run through some specs. So there's currently several different configurations of the 2018 Razer Blade, and this one here is the one that I'll be reviewing in this video. In terms of specs, it's rocking an 8th generation 8750H i7 CPU, 6 cores, 12 threads. We've got 16 gigabytes of RAM that's upgradable to 32 gigabytes, and 512 gigabytes of NVMe SSD storage that's also expandable up to 2 terabytes. And for the graphics, this model packs an NVIDIA GTX 1070 Max-Q design card. Now, on paper, these are impressive specs, and I'm pleased to say that, oh damn, it delivers on that as well. In Geekbench, we get a single core score of 4,803 and a multi-core score of 19,687. And for OpenCL, we get a solid score of 153,500. Okay, so it performs well. That's a good start. Let's take a look at a few other things too. First up, the overall design. Now, I think that the all-black aluminium chassis looks stunning, especially when paired with the RGB backlit keyboard that really allows every single key to pop. I'm also a huge fan of the more squared off edges, and aesthetically, this laptop fits with the whole black and green thing that Razer got going on. And before purchasing this laptop, I did have some reservations about the green logo. And as much as I do wish that that logo was RGB lit to match the keyboard, it's kind of grown on me, to be honest. And just looking at it here in front of me, I think it actually looks pretty dope when it's all lit up. But do keep in mind that this laptop is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. So consider keeping a special little cloth handy just to give it a little clean every now and then. Next, let's take a look at the keyboard. So the Chroma keyboard comes with individually backlit keys, and they can be fully customized individually using the Razer Synapse software that comes pre-installed with the laptop. And this software, well, it's very, very extensive. You can literally change the color of every single key individually. So if you have certain hotkeys that you use regularly, you can highlight those with a particular color, or you can just make it super pretty and just have like a rainbow keyboard, whatever you like. And there's also plenty of presets that you can use that, to be honest, do put on a pretty impressive display of color. And the keys are pretty slim, and they've got a good amount of key travel too. And I think everyone's going to have their own personal preference as to what kind of typing experience works for them. But at least for me, they're super comfortable to type on. And the only real complaint that I've got, well, not complaint, but interesting design choice, is the position of the up arrow key in between the question mark and the shift key. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but just something that you may need to get used to. And the laptop features a good sized glass trackpad that also uses Windows Precision drivers. Looking at the ports, starting on the left, we have a new proprietary power adapter attached to either a 200 watt or a 230 watt power brick, depending on the configuration of the model you choose. Moving along, we also have 2 USB 3.1 ports along with a headphone/microphone input. Over on the right, we've got a Kensington lock, mini display port, HDMI port, another USB 3 port, and a USB-C port. For me, the only thing missing here is an SD card slot. But because of the fact that there's so many other ports, enough to connect up to 3 external displays, I'm not going to give Razer too much of a hard time on this one. I could just buy a dongle. It's just one dongle. I mean, it's not like they removed all the essential ports and replaced them all with USB-C. Right, Apple? Onto the speakers. I would have to say that they are average, mediocre. They're fine, I guess. A few other reviewers said that they wish they had a bit more bass, and to be honest, I'm kind of inclined to agree. Although if you're like me and you'll mostly use this computer for playing games or editing video, then you'll likely be using headphones anyway, so personally, that's not really too much of an issue for me. Now, probably one of the most requested aspects of this laptop to cover, how hot does it get does it make any noise? And the answer is yes. Yes, it gets hot. Yes, it makes noise. So this new Razer Blade comes with the addition of the vapor chamber cooling technology. This helps to keep temperatures of some of the key components like the GPU and the CPU a bit more stable. And whilst it does do a good job of maintaining more stable temperatures for these components, it can get quite hot to touch, particularly the area above the keyboard. Now, to be fair, this isn't an area of the laptop that you're going to be touching all that often. Unless you're like me and you're persistently curious and you just keep touching it just to see how hot it is. How hot does it get until I burn myself? What an idiot. And whilst the palm rests either side of the trackpad, these do get warm, they don't get anywhere close to being uncomfortably hot. And as an example, I've actually edited and exported a video whilst having the laptop on my lap. And on the underside, it does actually manage to stay relatively cool. Now, in terms of noise, if you're doing day-to-day tasks like surfing the web, writing emails, etc., the fans will be nice and quiet for these simple tasks. And I even got away with a little bit of light video editing as well. But if you do decide to play games, edit high-res video, or render out projects from something like Premiere, for example, then expect this laptop to sound like a rocket getting ready to take off. Now, as someone who owns a huge tower specifically for PC gaming, I'm kind of used to that fan noise anyway. And again, if you're using headphones, this is totally a non-issue in my opinion. But if the fan noise is a deal breaker for you, then this is just something to be mindful of. I guess it's just part of the trade-off for squeezing this much power into such a streamlined laptop body. Rightio, so the last thing we're going to look at is the display. I don't know what this is, display. And to be honest, this is the first device that I've ever used that has a screen refresh rate higher than 60 Hz. And holy shit, it's bloody awesome. If you watch my tutorials closely, you'll notice that there's a slight motion blur effect that I apply to the screen capture. This makes the movement of the cursor appear smoother than it actually is. The 144 Hz display literally looks like this all the time. And it's hard to kind of describe and demonstrate in a video, but man, it just makes everything feel so much smoother and more responsive. It's definitely going to be hard to go back to 60 Hz after this, to be honest. Apple, you need 144 Hz display now. Now, the native resolution on this model is 1920 by 1080, and there is a 4K option available too. But on a 15-inch screen, I think the 1080 display is absolutely fine. And you can always connect to an external 4K display if you'd like to work at a higher resolution on a larger screen. However, the brightness of the display is a little bit disappointing. I would have definitely liked to have seen a slightly brighter display on this. It's not something that's always noticeable just using the Blade on its own. Like right now, I can see the screen perfectly, no issues. But when I'm switching back and forth between this and my 2013 MacBook Pro, it's something that I really do notice and probably my biggest issue. Now, a few other YouTube channels have reviewed this laptop and they've pointed out that they've noticed some backlight bleed around the edges of the display. And whilst my version, upon closer inspection, does have some backlight bleed along the bottom of the display, it's something that I just hadn't noticed up till this point. In fact, the only reason that I did notice it at all was from thoroughly testing it in preparation for this review. And last of all, we've got the 720p webcam that also comes with, wait for it, 1 whole megapixel. Now that's what I call high quality. It's fine, it's there at the top if you need it, but if you do a lot of streaming or video conferencing, etc., it'd probably be worth investing in an external webcam, to be honest. So there we go, that wraps up my review of the 2018 Razer Blade 15. If you're a gamer or a content creator who edits a lot of 4K video and you're looking for a beast of a computer inside a streamlined and stylish body, I think you're gonna love this laptop. If the display brightness, the fan noise, or the chassis getting hot is something that worries you, there may be other laptops out there that are a better fit for you. But ultimately, am I happy with my purchase? Oh, hell yeah. Right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave any questions or comments down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you next time.